Hi everyone, welcome to today's session on building RESTful APIs in ASP.NET Core. I promise this won't be another boring lecture. Today we will break down RESTful APIs, understanding how they work and explore some cool real-world example. Here's a quick question to get us started. Have you ever wondered how your favorite apps like Instagram or Spotify communicate with server? That's RESTful APIs in action. Let's dive in and demonstrate the magic behind them. First off, what does REST even mean? It stands for Representational State Transfer. Fancy name, right? Don't worry, it's simpler than it sounds. Imagine you are at restaurant, you the customer order food. The waiter takes your request to the kitchen and the chef prepare your meal. REST is like this process. The API is the waiter, the server is the kitchen, and your app is the customer. REST makes sure the order and the response are clear and consistent. Okay, let's talk about HTTP methods. The action we perform with interacting with an API. These methods are like the verb of the internet. Get is like reading a book. You are retrieving information. Post it when you are writing in a diary. You are creating something new. Then we have put. Put is updating your diary entry to add more detail. The last one is delete. Well, that's tearing out a page. Here we have fun example for you. If you want to see user profile, you will use get request to retrieve user profile. But if you want to delete that user, you will use delete request to delete that user. Don't worry, this is all virtual, no real harm done. Okay, so now let's talk about HTTP status code. Have you ever clicked on a link and seen a 404 not found error? That's an HTTP status code. APIs use these code to tell you what's happening with your request. Here are some must known code. 200 OK mean everything went smoothly. 201 created mean your request successfully created something new. 400 bad request, well, that's when you mess up the request format. 500 internal server error, oh, something went wrong on the server side. So regarding the HTTP status, think of these like traffic signal for the web. Green light, yellow light, red light. They keep everything moving safely. Okay, so now let's talk about HTTP headers. Now let's spice things up with HTTP headers. Think of header as extra detail you provided with your request, like adding instruction to a food order. For instance, content type is like saying, make it spicy. It's tell the server what format your data is in, like JSON or XML. Authorization is like showing your ID. It proves you're allowed to access certain information. Here's a quick example of a request with header. It's like saying, hi API, I'm authorized, give me data in JSON format. RESTful APIs principle. Now, REST isn't just a free for all, it's based on some golden rules. Following these rules make APIs clean, efficient, and scalable. So the first rule is statelessness. Every request is independent. It's like ordering pizza. Each order stands on its own. Second one is client server separation. The front end and the back end are separate, so each can evolve independently. The third one is uniform interface. APIs use consistent URL and method like get and some meaningful URL. The fourth one is cacheability. Responses can be cached, making everything faster. Following these rules ensure your APIs are not just functional but also elegant. So let's try to understand with the real world example. Here's how you might interact with a RESTful API in a real world. If you want to retrieve any product data, you will send a GET request with the user ID, with the product ID, and you will retrieve that product information. If you want to create a new product, you will hit again post, you will send a post request with the JSON data to create that product on the server. Then the next one is if you want to update any product on the server, you will send a put request with the user ID, with the product ID in the URL, with the updated product detail as a request body. And the last one is if you want to delete any product, you will send a delete request with the in the URL. You will pass the product ID, and that will like delete that product. See, it's not a rocket science. It's all about understanding the pattern. To wrap up, RESTful APIs use HTTP methods, status codes, and header to make web communication smooth and reliable. By sticking to RESTful principle, you can design APIs that are secure, consistent, and scalable. So whether you are working on a small app or a large-scale system, mastering RESTful APIs is a skill you will use over and over again. Here's challenge for you. Think of an app you love, maybe Spotify, YouTube, or Instagram. Can you guess what kind of HTTP method their APIs might be using behind the scene? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for joining me today. If you found this helpful, give it a thumbs up, share it with your developer friends, and don't forget to subscribe for more tech content. See you in the next video. Happy coding!